This scope is actually going to announcing that scope that I'm going to do tomorrow, which I think is going to be a really important one. First of all, I'm going to actually be doing a periscope from the water, like the name implies. The way I do this is with a life-proof case and life-proof quick mounts, and I'm really hoping it's going to work. I'll probably give it a dry run first before I start to get into the real stuff. But the reason why I want to be in the water for my scope is I'm going to be demoing this thing. This is a Restube. What it is it's for anybody who's not going to be out in the open water, whether you're swimming, stand-up paddleboarding, you could be windsurfing, kayaking, anything where you're out on the open water and there's a chance that you might get into trouble and want to have a little bit of extra flotation, especially if you're not going to be wearing a life jacket like swimmers don't. And I don't believe stand-up paddleboarders do either. The Restube is a little device that you wear on your belt. It's got a little bit of a weight to it, and I'll explain why. You can see that it inflates into a yellow tube, and there's a little manual cartridge and trigger that you can pull to inflate it in a big hurry. Or you can inflate it manually using your mouth and simply drag it as a buoy behind you. That's what I'm going to be trying to do tomorrow, because I'm going to take it out on a long swim and see if it gives me any extra drag or if it's as they say. So I'm going to be testing this thing tomorrow, and this could be a real game changer. For those that are interested in triathlon, maybe you're in triathlon or you're thinking about one. So often I hear it's the open water swimming that really drives people buggy. Either they're not good swimmers in the first place, or they're great in the pool, but as soon as they can't see the bottom or there's a bit of waves and chop, they completely they kind of lose it. They lose their marbles a little bit. And to be honest, if you're out and exposed, there are a few dangers when you're out in open water, and that's what Restube is trying to make safer. So that'll make triathlon, open water swimming, stand-up paddleboarding, any kind of water sport with a lot of self-propulsion becomes that much more accessible. So I'm hoping you'll tune in tomorrow. Everybody, very excited. I've got the Restube Classic here. Restube is available for sale from Innovation Sports here in Canada, but I think they ship to the United States too. I am going to be I'm here in the water. I'm not too deep, so I wouldn't be in any real danger, but I wanted to be able to show how this thing actually works. It's my first time trying it, so wish me luck. The perils of live television or live streaming. You know what? Let's just get right down to it. This is a little pull cord here. You can see here, right there. I'll be pulling on that, give it a nice firm pull. That'll activate a CO2 cartridge that's in there and inflate the tube. Wish me luck. 1, 2, 3. And that works beautifully. Look at that. So this, I can float on. Ooh, water's a bit cold. Like that. And be safe. This thing can also be manually inflated. And I'm actually going to take this out in just a few minutes on an open water swim and drag it behind me. And it acts as an extra marker for when I'm in the water, nice and yellow, so people can see me, and in case I get in trouble. The Ironman Muskoka bike course is actually right across the lake over there, so instead of going along the shoreline the way I usually do, I'm going to an open water swim clear to the other side. Hi again, everybody. My Restube is still inflated, and it's now attached to I'm wearing the belt, and there's a little leash behind it. I'm going to swim directly across the bay, which I don't usually do, but Ironman Muskoka is taking place right over there. I've actually seen some bikes go by and people cheer, so I thought it would be really kind of funny to swim over there, cheer on a couple athletes, and swim back. So I'll probably even do some live video from over there. I'm going to shut off the phone. I've got a life-proof case on it, so I can take it in the water with me. But yeah, having it off is always a good idea, so the touchscreen doesn't get activated while I'm swimming. Hope to see you on the other side. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, I made it to the other side and I have my Restube with me. It worked great. I could feel it occasionally when I kicked my feet, but it just sort of trailed behind me and made me more visible to other boats. give you a quick look at what it looks like uninflated. This right here is the manual valve. So I had opened that up and pressed on that little yellow cross you see there, and to deflate it and really flatten it out. And you can see they've got some nice little set of instructions on there too. So for reuse, I've also removed the CO2 cartridge that was there. It was old and it was empty, and there are only official CO2 cartridges, Restube CO2 cartridges, that are to be used with it. And luckily they sent me 2 replacements right here. Now, one of the things I've noticed, I've read the instructions a couple times, and the instructions are available, as you see, in German, English, and French. And one of the things they mention is to first close the oral valve, then close this little release trigger. Then they mention a green safety clip. Now, I have not been able to find one in the box, and it's mentioned in this instruction booklet too, and there's a little picture of it here, that thing, to give me an idea of the scale of it. And honestly, I'm not seeing it. I haven't found it in the box. Maybe it fell out at some point. I'm going to try and get by without using it. So that's going to have to get screwed into there. And then as you see, there's actually a whole bunch of markings on how to fold it up correctly. I already did one folding without the CO2 cartridge, but I want to see how this goes. Now the really tricky part is, how do I scope when I need my hands to do the folding and everything else? Well, I did do a little dress rehearsal, and I think this is going to work. So just bear with me. Back in selfie mode. So I think you guys can see the tube right now. So this is closed. This is the release valve. It's closed. Nice and tight here. And then I could put one of these back in. So I'll just stick that in there and screw it in. Hopefully as straight as possible. Okay, that's nice and finger tight. So the tube has been completely deflated, and now it says fold lengthwise, line on the inside, and put left end under CO2 cartridge. So it's going to go like this along that line. The next step is to fold lengthwise, line on the inside, put left end under CO2 cartridge, and then fold zigzag. This should be the top. So I can see the extra creases in there, and basically it's getting folded like that. And then I do believe that can now go in the pouch. So the pouch even has little extra instructions mentioning that the release valve should be on the left. What does this say? Nut has to face this sign. Okay, so the nut is here. I'm going to undo this because I don't quite trust it. Like this. That looks a little bit better. And then the nut facing that sign, which is on the right, would probably go like this. And that folds quite nicely into there. And like so. With this tucked away like that, and you can see the whole thing can be a belt again. Oh, interesting. This could be right there. you see that there's a bit of white Velcro which can match itself. So we can put that together. And that should be that. Here's what it clips together as a belt, and it's ready to be worn again.